I'm John Schloderer, one of the geologists here at BCM, and I've been looking over some of these geophysical maps, which I find very interesting. A lot of my previous work on similar deposits, porphyry copper deposits, a bit on Escondida in the early days, and a big one going in production in Pakistan called Reko Dik. But the challenge here was the cover here. I've never worked on a system where there was absolutely no outcrop to look at. No clues, no guides, so everything was blind, and we're depending a lot on geophysics, and that's why I'm quite interested in some of these geophysical maps. So we have a very prominent magnetic anomaly that showed up. One of the early days, one of the reasons that companies got involved and interested in this area. Initial drilling was quite a technical success, so we drilled down. We did get into an intrusive that had characteristics of a porphyry copper, so there was a lot of excitement there. There was a little bit of sulfide showing with it, and there was some alteration. So we continue to focus on the magnetics, and we're having a lot of success hitting a porphyry style of intrusion, but it wasn't until we hit TK6 and hole number TK8, very good mineralization in a skarn. So magnetics were very key in that, and currently we are going a little bit out of the main magnetic anomaly into an area further to the south and southwest, and we're continuing some of the recent drilling targeting this area, hopeful of getting some additional porphyry style mineralization in that area. A horizontal gradient. This gives you an idea of how the intrusive body, the porphyry, may be dipping. It shows you a steep edge on one side and a very shallow contact on the other side, indicating that we have a system that may be dipping down in this fashion. We can get a lot out of the magnetic information, and I'm very excited here in what's going forward because we're going to be doing some electrical surveys here that's going to add to our understanding, that we can add to the magnetics, some audiomagnetic tellurics also, which are going to help with our interpretation, because geophysics techniques are so important in a completely blind target. We also try to put some cross sections to help us understand how the mineralization is looking in 3 dimensions, and trying to predict from hole to hole where we might intersect some of the mineralization. On this map in red here are outline of the Skarn, which is our main target, and we also show areas where there's been no Skarn development, and then areas with very magnetic Skarn development. So the blue here is just a dolomitic marble, the green here is Skarn. But the key is the red, which is magnetic skarn, and that's generally where we host the mineralization. Other things that are important are these darker areas. These are little fingers of porphyry-style intrusive. And particularly here in 15, we've actually got some good copper mineralization in the intrusive, indicating we're close by. There's a mineralized porphyry not too far from 15, as indicated by our information here in the loggings. Very interesting source, all good indications that we're got a big system here. Also very important on this section that is shown is one of our latest holes in TK18. We were surprised we have this vertical uplifted block, bringing the porphyry up to the surface, bringing it up into the oxidized zone. And when we have mineralization in that oxidized zone, it gets leached. That leaching can leach out the copper and deposit at a lower elevation in terms of what's called a chalcocite blanket, which will also be very responsive to any geophysical techniques that we're planning on. So it's a combination of all these things, particularly right now, some of the geophysical data, and there's new geophysical data going to be coming in. It's going to be very interesting to see that and how that correlates to our understanding and how it correlates to our distribution of the mineralization as we see it now. So stay tuned for some of the new updates and interpretation on the geophysics that will be coming up in the near future, what the implications are of that to our future plans and our next round of drilling.